Last year, we were so privileged to honor Sivan Yaari with the Bertie Lubner Humanitarian Award. Sivan and her organization has provided clean drinking water, sinking boreholes, and then using solar to drive the motor to over 6 million Africans, including 1 million people in South Africa. It's not just a water initiative. It's not just sinking of a borehole. It's thought through with what I regard as a principle of responsible kindness. It's a principle which we've tried to build our various different charitable organizations, Tikkun, Smile, Sabrina Love Foundation, Field Band Foundation. The principle of responsible kindness says that you have to think about being kind. You wake up each day with a motivation to be kind, but you've got to do it in a responsible manner. You can't create dependencies. And Sivan's initiative is indicative of exactly that. Not only are boreholes sunk that produce drinkable, potable water, but the solar that drives the motor that pumps the water also serves to provide electricity to next-door neighboring schools, providing access to for children to educational opportunities that they would not otherwise necessarily get. While 6 million Africans might now be drinking water that were not previously able to access water, you can multiply that number by at least another 100 to understand just how many lives this remarkable woman who has come from Israel but chosen to dedicate her life to the life of Africans. You are indeed a remarkable inspiration to us all, Sivan.
Sivan is a powerhouse.
She saw something and did something about it.
Sivan, she is an inspiration to all people.
She's very, very engaging and responsive.
And deeply committed to each village.
Those are attributes that allow people to embrace her and take her as part of their community's future and hopes.
She didn't only recognize the problem, but she was adamant to find a simple, sustainable solution.
Here comes this young lady with a passion and a know-how to bring fresh water to people who've never seen fresh water in their lives.
Moisa, EBT,
About 2.2 billion people living without access to safe water.
A desperate call in need of an urgent response.
Half of the continents have to leave their homes to access water.
Access to safe water is one of the most fundamental pillars for human health.
Africa is left behind and forgotten.
The main challenge in Africa is the lack of energy. Because there is no energy, people are still suffering. Because there is no electricity in medical centers, there is no electricity in schools. But most importantly, because there is no energy, there is no access to clean water. And yet, the sun exists, the water exists, and with only a few solar panels, we can make a change. Innovation Africa is a non-profit organization with a very simple mission: to bring Israeli technologies to African villages. Since 2008, we have brought solar energy to power schools, medical centers, and most importantly, to pump water in rural African villages. Once we bring clean water to a village, everything changes. Children are going to school, now there is better education, less people are sick. But what inspires us the most is when we get back to a village, we see agriculture, brick making, we see economic independence. Energy is the key to break the cycle of poverty.
There's lots of flowing water below Africa, and you just got to know how to find it.
We build a 10-meter tower. On top of it, we install just a few solar panels in order to power the pump and pump the water to a tank. Through gravity, water then flows to the different taps that we install throughout the village.
My wife went to a King David Schools Foundation women's event, and Sivan was the speaker. And she came back from that event and said to me, I have to meet and talk to Sivan. And when I spoke to her, she said, well, South Africa is quite a wealthy country. She doesn't really see the need for the work that she does in South Africa. So I said to her, well, just go around the rural areas and have a look.
Sivan went away and did all her research and then reported back to us after 3 months. And she confirmed that rural areas in South Africa desperately needed access to clean drinking water.
I managed to get the trustees to agree to support Sivan in the initial development of what we would then call the water project.
We agreed to fund Innovation Africa with $1 million to support their first set of projects in South Africa. It was from those 11 villages that EDT initially funded that Innovation Africa has now completed almost 200 water projects in South Africa, impacting nearly 1 million people.
When I joined Innovation Africa, we were only operating in one region at that time. Now we are operating in 3 provinces, and we are, of course, planning to move to our 4th province.
In every village, we hire 10 people from the village, we pay them a salary, and for 4 months, they work with the contractor.
They provide them a lot of skills, such as scaffolding, pipe fitting, and many other skills which are components of the project.
By the time we leave, they know how to operate, how to maintain, and how to fix the solar water pumping system.
And it's a fairly straightforward situation, requiring very little maintenance, and it's very easily looked after by people that we train locally just to maintain it.
A key ingredient in the success of what Sivan and Innovation Africa do is the smarts of the technology that accompany this whole project.
What was very important for me from the beginning is to make sure that the pump that we install in a village will keep working. We invented an off-grid remote monitoring system.
We have a satellite view that we're able to look at daily and weekly.
Innovation Africa received an award with the UN, and we now have a special consultative status with the UN.
Sivan and Innovation Africa's work has touched the lives of over 5 million people across rural Africa. Of those, 800,000 are people in South Africa whose lives have been transformed thanks to Sivan and her team.
The warmth comes through her staff. Her passion comes through with her staff.
People who work in their organization really have a fantastic drive.
The team on the ground are always motivated to rally behind Sivan Yaari to achieve even more because of her vision and mission.
She's a tough cookie, you know. She manages her team tightly.
Really is very, very impactful work.
I went to the opening of one of the projects. The water came out in a tall glass for the first time. They gave it to me and I lifted it up and drank it, and these hundreds of people went crazy. I cannot tell you the joy that this clean water produced.
It's really about creating communities that become self-sustainable.
Where literally within days and weeks and months, you can see how people's lives have changed.
You go back and you see irrigation, you see agriculture, you see brick making.
Children can now go to school, get education. People can now grow food, have better nutrition.
And seeing how you can change a person's life left an impact on me that I can still recall it till today.
We are absolutely dumbstruck by the impact and the joy that it has created in those local communities.
She sleeps, she eats, she breathes Innovation Africa.
My hopes is that she never stops, that she continues with her great work.
She is certainly one of the most inspirational leaders that I've been privileged to meet, and definitely one of the most impactful humanitarians.
Mazel tov, Sivan. You deserve it in every which way.
You bought light, you bought education, you bought water, you bought food, and changed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people.
In Jewish tradition, we say, Kol Adam Olam Umlu. Each person is a universe. Innovation Africa has transformed over 5 million universes. Each life as precious and expansive as the next.
Wow, thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. I'm really honored to receive this award and to be part of Bertie's legacy of kindness and giving. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm truly pleased that I've made it to this stage this time around. Last time I was on my way, unfortunately, once I landed in Dubai, and unfortunately I found out that my father-in-law passed away. So I went back home and I couldn't make it here. I have to be honest, I have to admit, I was quite nervous taking off from Ben Gurion, but I'm pleased to report that everybody is safe and alive back home, thank God. And maybe in life it's all about timing, because tonight it feels even more meaningful and fitting for me to be here, because tonight the sponsor of the event is Investec. And it was Investec who sponsors the first 11 villages that have received access to clean water with Innovation Africa here in South Africa. And it all started with Steve Kosef. And that was about 7 years ago. I was here in Joburg. I was actually on my way to the airport when I received a phone call.
And he said, hello, my name is Steve. My wife heard you speaking at the King David School fundraising event. You may have heard of those events before. And I told him, and then he told me, please change your flight. Stay here. I want you to come. I want to speak with you. I want to bring clean water to villages in South Africa. And I told him, sorry, I don't know you, but please don't waste my time. I'm busy. I work in Malawi, I work in Uganda, I'm busy. South Africa is a rich country, you don't need me. You have electricity, so you should have water. I was quite naive back then. Anyway, he insisted, so I changed my flight, and I went and I met with him. And I think it was the next day where I drove to Bushbuck Ridge, and then to Vembe. And I must tell you that what I saw in the villages didn't make sense to me. There were beautiful homes, people beautifully dressed. They had TV, electricity. And yet, the women were working hours every day just to get to a small and dirty, contaminated source of water or to the rivers. But really what touched me were the testimonies from the women. Because they came forward and they told me, we are afraid. We fear walking to get water. We are being attacked. Some of us have been raped. And we fear for our daughters. They were begging me to help them. I called Steve Kosef. I said, you know what? Let's do it. And we started. We started with one village and another village and another village. And today, over 200 villages across South Africa, in KwaZulu-Natal, in Limpopo, in Vembe, in Mpumalanga, and only a few months ago we started at the Eastern Cape. And yes, over 1 million people, South Africans, are getting access to clean water thanks to Israeli technology. And Steve Kosef is still with me, he's still the chairman of the organization, and he still checks every invoice. And, but I have to tell you, we are successful in South Africa thanks to you, to the Jewish South African community. You guys are unbelievable. I've never seen such a community, and I've been around. And I have to tell you, many of you here came with us to the villages. Many of you sponsored villages. Even some of you, actually many of you came and witnessed the moment that we get to a village of 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 people who never tasted clean water. And you were there to open the tap of clean water for the first time. So thank you very much. And I'm going to tell you some of the names. Stay with me. It's a long list. So we have from Bayport to Betway, my friend Anthony Prisman, to the Foschini Group, the HCI Foundation, Martin Moschel, Yad Mordechai, the Kruger Gates Hotel, Relate Water, the Sabi Sabi Foundation, Anglo-American, Madluli Reserve Foundation, the Goodman Gallery, Lauenstein Trust, and so many African families. The Enek, the Ginsberg, the Cork, Brian Joffe, the Mann brothers, and many more. And I want to say a special thanks to my friend, Rabbi Mofson. Thank you very much. Now, South Africa is only one of the many countries where we operate. Actually, most of the people in Africa, even today, over 450 million people do not have access to clean water. Actually, more than 600 million people do not have, I've never seen a light bulb, do not have access to electricity and water. And yes, it took me 18 years, but we have made it, village after village. And yes, we have reached 6 million people. Over 1,300 villages across Africa, across Cameroon, Uganda, Tanzania, Malawi, Senegal, Ethiopia, and more, are having the knowledge of Israel, the technology of Israel that is now providing them with a better life, with hope and dignity. Now, there is one family that really made this all happen, and this is the Kirsch family. Nettie, Frances, Wendy, Philip and Linda. When they first met me, they said, Sivan, go ahead. Get the best engineers from Israel and from Africa and go. Scale it up. And I can tell you, thanks to them, so many people today, millions of people today in Africa have a better life. They trusted us, they pushed us to dream bigger. This all happened to them. It's an incredible family, an incredible legacy, and I owe them almost everything. Thank you very much. Now, Howie will be upset if I don't tell you how it all started. Now, I was born in Israel to a poor family. At age 12, my parents moved from Israel to France with the hope to find a better life. Unfortunately, it was really hard for them because both of them were not educated. And so they end up making pizza and selling pizza in the market. Now I was a teenager, and I remember me complaining of having pizza every dinner, every lunch, every breakfast. I remember telling my parents, enough, I can't wait to be 18 years old. I will go to the army and I will have better nutrition. And that's what happened. I was 18 years old. I went back to Israel. I joined the army as a volunteer. And at the age of 20, I got lucky. I really did. I'm in Israel and I'm looking for a job. And suddenly I see an announcement from Jordache jeans. Do you know Jordache? How many of you are still wearing the jeans? I went for the interview and one of the owner was there. And I remember he told me, listen, you are lovely, which I was. But, I was. But your English is not good enough. I'm sorry. I can't give you a job. Sorry, goodbye. I was about to leave. And listen to this. I was about to leave the room. I turned around and I said, I speak French. He said, oh, if you speak French, I have a job for you. I own a factory in Madagascar where we are manufacturing jeans. Why don't you go and do quality control of the jeans before we ship them to the US? I said, Madagascar, where is it? He said, in Africa. And this is how 27 years ago, I was 20, I got to the continent and have not left. And I have to tell you, I didn't have much growing up in Israel, but the poverty that I saw in the villages was quite different. When I grew up, I had shoes, I had a bed, I had a blanket, I had water, I had electricity. The poverty that I saw didn't make sense. And then I remembered growing up in Israel and I saw solar panels all over. And then I said to myself, it doesn't make sense that they have to go and get dirty water. Some of them were dying from thirst because there was no water at all. Schools and medical centers, no electricity. I was lucky that Jordache sponsored my school. I got to New York. I got my master's in energy from Columbia University. And as a student, I went back with 2 solar panels to a small village in Tanzania, and that was the first one. And then I did another one and another one. Thank you. And yes, I made many mistakes on the way. I promise you that. It wasn't always easy. But I want to say the following. I want to thank my incredible team, because today we have almost 100 employees working very hard, both in Israel and across Africa, most of them engineers, and we're working very hard in going village by village to try to change the lives of people, because it's the right thing to do, because people deserve to have access to clean water. And I want to say the following. Innovation Africa is only one of many Israeli organizations that are doing good work in the world. And I hope that one day the world will see the real and vast contribution that Israel is making in the world. A country that, despite all its challenges, continues to give, to share, to innovate. And this is important, because if there is one promise I will make tonight, is that as long as I can, I will continue to fulfill our Jewish destiny to empower others. I will keep going, village by village, using Israeli innovation to improve lives and show the true face of Israel. We will not stop. We will persevere. We will survive. We will succeed on all fronts. Thank you very much, and Am Israel Chai.
Give it up for Sivan one more time.